When developing a game, one of the main goals is to make it appealing to as many people as possible. That way you can maximize your profits. It's why Minecraft is currently the world's most popular game by a landslide. It can appeal to all ages. You can quit the game when you're young and still pick it back up when you're old. The game is timeless. Unfortunately, the fighting game genre has trouble appealing to everyone. Some of you may think it's because of the toxicity in the community, and although that is a byproduct, it's not the main reason. It's actually the genre itself that's the problem, and I'm putting the word problem in quotes because it's only a problem depending on how you look at it. Fighting games have high learning curves and barriers to entry because of how important execution and reaction are, so it makes sense why they don't appeal to everyone. You actually have to take time and learn the mechanics to truly have fun. You can't just pick it up right away. And although platform fighters have a lower barrier to entry since you have more opportunities to make mistakes, and the combos are usually shorter than other fighters, the learning curve is still just as high, especially at the top level. So this begs the question, how do you make fighting games more appealing? Well, one way, and I'm not saying this is the best way, is to make the combos easier, and that's where auto combos come in. An auto combo is exactly what you think it is. The combo is done automatically, usually by pressing the same button repeatedly. How many times you press that button depends on how long the combo is. You may have seen them in assist fighters like Dragon Ball FighterZ, as it features a plethora of them, but they aren't just limited to that genre. Tekken also features some auto combos too. The King of Fighters series, which is known for having some of the hardest combos, also has auto combos in their last 2 games. But even then, auto combos have been in fighting games way before that. In 1997, a game called Super Gem Fighter Mini, also known as Pocket Fighter, was released. The game featured a more cartoonish version of the characters from Street Fighter and Darkstalkers. It was intended for casual players, and fittingly, it showcased early iterations of simplifying combos. But a clearer early example of auto combos is from the game Inuyasha, made in 2002. The game consists of both weak and strong attacks, just like every other fighting game. If you press either of them multiple times, you perform an auto combo. The combo maxes out at 8 hits, so that means the 9th time you press a button, it will not combo. Also, a downside is that the longer the auto combo is, the more time your opponent has to parry it. What's interesting is that you can incorporate both strong and weak attacks into your auto combo if you want to, allowing for different types of attacks depending on if you ended with a strong or weak button. You can also cancel the auto combo into a special attack as well. But even though auto combos have been in fighting games for over a decade, they are still controversial, and the topic is always debated about if they should be in fighting games or not. Honestly, there are good arguments on both sides. On one hand, auto combos are great for lowering the barrier to entry. More people can enjoy the game without necessarily having to learn hard combos. It can also be a gateway into learning more advanced attacks. Some people refer to auto combos as training wheels, since they act as a tool to help you get used to the game. Then when you understand the mechanics more, you can transition into more advanced combos. But on the other hand, it makes new players comfortable with mashing, since that's what you're basically doing. The only difference is that you can actually convert it into damage. If they get too comfortable with it, they might not want to learn anything else, because why would you learn harder combos when you can just spam? This can potentially lower the overall quality of players, since there will naturally be more players who heavily rely on auto combos to produce damage. Now this is kind of game specific, but if they're not implemented correctly and they do the same damage as regular combos, they can be too overpowered and make the game boring, because at that point everyone is just doing auto combos. A good example of how auto combos can be implemented into a game is when they're completely optional and unoptimized. That way, you give the player 2 choices. 1. Go for the easy combo and do an okay amount of damage, or 2. Go for an optimized manual combo, but it's harder to execute. Now both the casual and competitive players can have the best of both worlds. You can enjoy the game without having to spend hours in training mode, but when it comes down to it, the player who actually took the time to learn the game will benefit more. For example, in Dragon Ball FighterZ, you can do auto combos with either your light, medium, or heavy button. The light version produces a soft knockdown that brings your opponent back to the ground. The medium version ends in a super, and the heavy version knocks down your opponent, and you can set up for an extended manual combo. All of these auto combos are not only basic and do less damage than manual combos, but they also inefficiently use your super meter. Tekken and King of Fighters also follow the same structure of having weaker but easier auto combos. But the difference with King of Fighters is that you actually can't turn them off. For some reason it's not available in the settings, so if you wanted to actually just mash a move instead of doing an auto combo, that's basically not an option anymore. It just forces you to do the full auto combo. I'm not sure why they decided to force people to use auto combos. I think there should be an option by default just like the other games. So what would happen if Brawlhalla had auto combos? Now before you start yelling at me in the comments, I'm just entertaining the idea, okay? I'm not saying auto combos should be in the game, and honestly, I don't see that happening anytime soon. Brawlhalla would have to completely change its mechanics in order to have auto combos. Now with that being said, here's what I think it would look like if they were implemented into Brawlhalla. By the way, there would also be an option to turn them on or off just in case you don't want to accidentally input them. So first of all, I think that every weapon should have an auto combo, including unarmed. So starting with unarmed, I think that D-Light Nair should be an auto combo. It isn't optimal for damage or KOs, and most people would rather go with D-Light Ground Pound or D-Light Recovery. Sword would also have the same auto combo, again for the same reasons. D-Light Sair, Recovery, and Ground Pound all have better damage and KO potential. Even D-Light Dare is a better option because you can set up for a combo extension. Spear could have Sidelight GC Endline. Now I know that isn't true, but it could be true as an auto combo, since there isn't anything good you can really get off of it, and the knockback isn't great either. It's really only a damage builder. Plus it also requires a gravity cancel. For gauntlets, it was kind of hard to pick since most of its combos are situational. They are all useful at different moments. So I ended up picking what I thought was the most neutral out of all of them, which is D-Light Endline. It's simple, and you don't get the same extensions you would have possibly been able to get with something like D-Light Sidelight. Now you have an idea of why I'm choosing certain combos, so I'm just going to go through the rest of them quickly. Lance would have D-Light Endlight, Axe would have Sidelight D-Light, Guitars would have Endlight D-Light, Blasters would have D-Light Dare, Scythe would have Sidelight Endlight, Bow would have D-Light Endlight, Greatsword would have Sidelight Endlight, Cannon would have Sidelight Dare, Orb would have Sidelight Dare, and last but not least for Hammer, D-Light Sidelight. Now that I think about it, I completely disregarded 2v2s. There could be some interesting auto team combos that people could create. I wonder how that would play out. So yeah, those are all the auto combos I thought would be the closest fit for every weapon. I was originally going to do 2 for each, 1 grounded and 1 aerial, but that could get complicated really quickly. So I decided to just stick with grounded combos. Now as for which default buttons would be used for these auto combos, I have no clue. Again, this is just a what if scenario and I thought it'd be an interesting topic. So what do you guys think about auto combos? Do you think they're good, or should fighting games force players to learn the hard way? Anyways, that's it for this video. Please make sure to subscribe, and we're on our way to 10k. Thank you guys so much for the support, it's been absolutely insane. As always, make sure to join the Discord if you want to stay up to date on when new videos or streams come out, and I hope you guys have a good day. Peace.